Today we're going to talk about eczema, perhaps the most common skin rash that is seen in our children. In fact, about a third of babies end up having eczema during infancy. And of course, we all know ourselves or other people who have eczema throughout their life, and it becomes once again very common older in age. To understand eczema, let's take a moment to think about skin and why it creates eczema. Skin is the largest organ in the body. Believe it or not, it weighs more than all your bones put together. And it serves as one of the great boundaries between you and the outside world. If you think about it, the immune system has to be ready at a moment's notice, anywhere on the surface of your skin, to send in soldiers to protect you from outside germs with any cut, scratch, mosquito bite, hangnail, or scratch on the body. That means the entire skin is coated and filled with immune system soldier cells ready to go on the attack. And so eczema is a situation when those army cells of the immune system activate and actually go on the attack against your skin. And when that happens, that little patch of skin becomes red and swollen. It makes it very itchy, and your scratching makes the inflammation worse, and eventually it begins to peel in a condition we call scaling. The skin becomes coarse and it cracks. That allows actually bacteria to get in and create further inflammation. And so once the patch is activated in attack mode, a whole sequence of events occurs that leads to different levels of eczema. Now in infants, we see this reaction occur mainly on the scalp in a condition technically known as seborrheic dermatitis, but a lot of people call it cradle cap. So that's what cradle cap is the eczema that occurs on the scalp. It looks different than other eczema because part of the skin that has hair on it has oils too, more oils I should say, and so the eczema on the scalp ends up creating this yellow flaky stuff, the cradle cap I should say. Now on the rest of the skin, on the baby, most of the eczema is seen on the face, and interestingly enough, as the child gets to be school-aged or adolescent, you'll see eczema mainly in the creases of the elbows and knees. But eczema can occur anywhere on the body. It can be very mild, which almost feels like a little patch of dry skin, or it could be more severe with the redness we talked about, or it could be more severe covering large swaths of the body and causing deeper redness and swelling. So that's what eczema is. What can we do about it? Well, probably the best thing for eczema is to keep the skin moisturized, because as the skin thickens, its ability to maintain moisture disappears. You see, the top 5 layers of the skin are dead cells that, as a unit, are like a sponge. They hold moisture, but they can dry out like a sponge as well. The natural oils, that is, of your skin allow you to maintain a nice, soft, supple skin that is moist. But when eczema occurs, the skin thickens and its ability to have its oils reach the surface fails, and the skin dries out quite a bit. That makes it more itchy, more red, more peely. So putting something on there that keeps the water in the skin from evaporating can be very useful. We recommend something that has no other chemicals in it, something like Vaseline. Aquaphor is a type of Vaseline, but it's got lanolin in it, which can be irritating. In fact, anything else but Vaseline often has something in it that can be irritating. So rubbing your baby down with some plain Vaseline, certainly on the scalp before the hair grows in, or on their face, or any other part of the body where eczema is at, before nap time and bedtime, can really reverse a lot of the changes that we talked about with eczema. If it gets worse than that, then 1% hydrocortisone ointment, which is over-the-counter, works well. We prefer ointment over cream, and we can think of ointment as oil-like because they both start with OI. And like oil, the ointment preserves the water in the skin, as we talked about. And if that doesn't work, it's probably time to see your pediatrician. If it's us at Advanced Pediatrics, we can come up with some other ideas for you, but other doctors are able to do so as well. A lot of people ask us, isn't there something that we know that could cause the eczema? Could it be a food that we're allergic to, or something that we could avoid? Unfortunately, most eczema, in particular during infancy, in particular mild eczema, is due to just new things in the world to your baby, and they don't necessarily represent allergies. This makes it next to impossible to find out what it is, and certainly impossible to eliminate from the environment. But if the eczema is more severe, it's worth trying out avoidance of various items to see if it makes a difference. In newborns and young infants, sometimes we'll even have the mothers avoid various foods, such as cow's milk containing foods, to see if that's driving the production of eczema. But you should check with your doctor, and again, if that's us, we'd be glad to help you sort out if we can find out what the trigger is. If we find it's not due to a known allergen and it's just environmental impact, there's almost nothing you can do then to avoid the eczema occurring. It's more a matter of dealing with it when it's there. What about the future of eczema? Well, probably the most exciting news is that treatments are being developed that would end eczema as we know it. These treatments all block the ability of the immune system in the skin to mount an eczema sort of response while leaving it able to protect the body. And that second part's quite vital. I wouldn't trust a drug to stop the immune system from attacking its own skin unless I was sure that treatment wasn't going to also impair the body's ability to attack a real enemy, like a germ invading the skin. But scientists are closing in on that, just that balance. And one day I hope I'll be able to report that we can actually end the reaction we call eczema. So to sum up, eczema is perhaps the most common of rashes, extremely common in infancy. 1 out of 3 babies develop it. Unless it's very severe, we usually don't find the cause. Simple actions such as applying Vaseline every night before nap time, and if worse, using 1% hydrocortisone ointment, often control most people's eczema. If it's more severe, it may be worth trying to find out what's causing it. It does not indicate an abnormality or a disease in the person, however. It really is the natural immune system just reacting when it shouldn't. So I hope some of these answers, which are very real, have been helpful to you, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Real Answers with me, Dr. Arthur Lavin.